Hi guys, Herbalist40 here. Thank you for joining me today. Right, so it's been a good couple weeks since I last uploaded a video, but to be honest with you, there's not much to be said. Like, I'm really working hard at the minute. I've got my license and my theory and all that shit that I'm trying to do as well. So I really haven't had time. But I am gonna say today I am back with a guaranteed banger. Now, to kick off, I am going to have to go back on something that I said before, rectify it so that we can carry on. Those of you who don't follow me frequently won't have a fucking clue what I'm going on about, but for those of you who remember, a few weeks ago I brought up Freud and the id, the ego and the superego, and I tied that to the characters that we have on the screen right now. And I basically I even said it back then, if I'm going to be completely honest, that I wasn't totally sure on Franklin and Michael, which one was the ego and which one was the superego. I settled back then on Michael being the ego and Franklin the superego, and now I'm going to switch my opinion. It doesn't really matter, seeing as what I said before really didn't... there was nothing that I had said that wouldn't be true any longer. I hadn't gone that far into detail with it. But as you can see on the screen, we have a good friend Franklin, and thanks to some quick Photoshop editing, we've got Trevor as a nice looking devil on his left side, not ours, and we have Michael as an angel on his right side. Now, in just a second, I'm going to bring up on the screen a general idea, like a little compilation of different cartoons and animations where this has been brought up before, but it's not limited to animations, it's also movies and all sorts. But basically it's the concept of the shoulder angel and the shoulder devil. Now, this does not mean that I think that Michael and Trevor are a figment of Franklin's imagination. It simply means, I think, in a more physical way, they hold the roles that you can see on the screen right now on all these different characters that I'm sure you can all recognise. But basically this comes back to something I brought up a very long time ago, and you can see it on the screen now, and it's TV tropes. Some of this video has been pre-recorded, so I'm going to repeat this a couple times, but I really encourage you to go check out these websites. You can definitely learn a lot. But on the screen right now we have the good angel, bad angel, and this is a trope, and this is what I was telling you. It's basically, as you can see, when someone wrestles with a temptation, two miniature versions of himself, an angel and a devil, sit on each shoulder and try to pull him in different directions. Now, at the bottom it says, to put in more or less psychological terms, what we have is a kind of Freudian trio, and that's what I brought up a while ago. And obviously here in this case, when it comes to the shoulder angels and devils, with the devil as the id and the angel as the superego, hence my reason for changing Michael and Franklin and having Franklin as the ego, because generally it does work better when the ego is the one in the middle. And to be honest, I pushed my research a little bit further and even found a couple forums where people were discussing it, like a couple years ago even, and they were saying that Franklin did have more of a place being the ego than Michael did. I hadn't seen that before. That was unfortunate, but anyway, we're here to rectify. We're not going to stay stuck on the mistakes for too long. We're going to kind of... well, for a start, I'm going to show you a few examples of Freudian trios that we can all distinguish and all recognise. Now, here on the screen we have Star Wars, Harry Potter and Star Trek. Star Wars and Star Trek opposing each other. Now, this is classic Freudian trio, but I want you to pay attention to the colours on Star Trek now. I'm going to change them. They knew about the famous formula that I keep talking about, these tropes. That's the official word for the formula I keep mentioning, is a trope. They knew here the colours on their uniforms were selected to be inverted and become the same colours back and forth, infinity. Remember that. But before I get sidetracked, we're coming back here to what really kicked off this theory in my mind, and it's the Rockstar wallpapers and Rockstar's official artwork. Now, on the screen we have 4 different wallpapers. And these are official Rockstar wallpapers, and on every single one of these 4, Trevor appears on Franklin's left hand side. And Michael on the right. Now, in every single picture of their wallpapers and artwork that I could find with these 3, there are 7 in total. These 4 where Trevor appears on the left, and in a second I'm going to show you another 2 where Trevor appears on the right, and right at the end of this video I'm going to show you the final one, the 7th image, and that would be of Franklin to one side and Trevor would be in the middle and Michael to the left. Now I'm going to go over this and explain the differences. I'm going to make some good comparisons, and I'm also going to end it up in a little preview, shall I say, of what's to come and what this is all building up to. But for now I'm just going to throw on quickly the 2 other wallpapers where Trevor appears on Franklin's right hand side rather than his left, which is, I don't know if I pointed that out earlier, but generally the devil is on the left hand side. If you go back and look at the examples I put up in the beginning, all of the devils were on the left hand side. But as you can see here, Trevor appears in 2 official wallpapers on Franklin's right hand side. Now this doesn't disprove my theory at all. It can signify a lack of balance, and I'm going to show you something now which is a bit outside the box, but it's going to really serve to prove a few points. So I'll bring it up on the screen now, and what I'm going to use here is The Emperor's New Groove. Now a lot of you should remember this movie. I thought it was pretty damn good. And a side note, it was originally going to be titled The Kingdom of the Sun. So yet again, wordplay that we all know, that we're familiar with. If you also want to go into colours, look at the Emperor, red, gold and cyan. Colours that we're very familiar with that reappear. I know my boy Sparrow Maddox, my Spanish compadre, will be losing his shit on the colour patterns in this video, but anyway. Sticking more to the point, The Emperor's New Groove is going to allow me to show you just a short clip of a character in there called Kronk, who has shoulder angels appear. And in the first half of the clip, they're going to appear on the wrong side, so the devil's going to be on the right and the angel on the left. And then I'm going to show you a second clip a little bit later on where it's going to be the right way around. The devil will retrieve his place on the left. But for now, I want you to focus on the conversation that goes down here in this next little clip. I want you to really pay attention to what they're saying. Now, the more you pay attention, it's a very short clip and we are going to watch it a couple times, but you're going to realise if you pay attention to what his shoulder angels are saying, it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of a ramble. And again, I'm going to prove to you that this is part of a formula. And again, well, not again, for the first time, I don't know if I've said this before in the video. As I said, I've made multiple clips at different times, but there's going to be a lot of game content that's going to come towards the end of the video. So it's not just shit that doesn't have anything to do with Grand Theft Auto, although it does have a lot to do with it. But anyway, pay attention to this conversation and I'll meet you again at the end of this clip.
All this. Mission accomplished.
You're not just gonna let him die like that, are you?
My shoulder angel.
Don't listen to that guy. He's trying to lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm gonna lead you down the path that rocks.
Oh, come off it.
You come off it.
You.
You Infinity. Listen up, big guy. I got 3 good reasons why you should just walk away. Number 1, look at that guy. He's got that sissy stringy music thing.
We've been through this. It's a harp, and you know it.
Alright, that's a harp. And that's a dress.
Robe.
Reason number 2. Look what I can do.
But what does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
Listen, you guys, you're sort of confusing me, so, be gone. Or, you know, however I get rid of you guys.
That'll work.
Right, so the reason I told you to pay attention to what they were saying, the little shoulder angel and devil, is because it's a well-known trope and it's called a Seinfeldian conversation. And I'm just going to read it out for you. A long rambling, seemingly improvised conversation between characters about something that is beyond pointless, like loose shirt buttons. Often the characters will devote as much intellectual effort to it as people in a debating society, making it even more pointless. So, as you just heard, they had a conversation which they were debating intensely, and they were trying to make points that sounded well constructed, yet it made no sense. It was ridiculous. He did a handstand on one hand to prove a point. It was the perfect example to give you what a Seinfeldian conversation was, and the Seinfeldian conversation is actually typical to the shoulder angel and devil. So it's something they come one with one another. If I hadn't looked at the shoulder angel trope, I would never have found the Seinfeldian conversation trope. So if you want to go check out the website yourself, you'll see that obviously here I've cut a lot of the paragraphs out. It's a lot more dense than what you can see on the screen, but if you were to piece all the bits that I took out, you'd see all the links of Seinfeldian conversation. And again, in just a second, I'm going to change, and it's going to be, if I remember correctly, I believe it was the, I have to put it up because I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, the conversational troping. Again, I'm going to read it out. The characters are talking about tropes. They're not talking about tropes from their own series, so it's not a lampshade hanging, which is another form of trope. They're not talking about tropes in a way that goes, hey, we're aware that we're fictional, so it's not metafiction. They're not actively involving the viewer, so it's not postmodernism. That should remind you what the director was talking about, or sorry, Antonio was talking about in Capo Lavoro. He was talking about, we tried postmodernism, but it didn't work, if I remember correctly. They're not tearing down the tropes, so it's not deconstruction. They're just talking in a Seinfeldian conversation kind of way about conventions found in media in general, pointing them out, going, huh, that's interesting, idly coming up with possible reasons for them, starting to sound real familiar, right? Now, I'm going to play you this clip again because I want you to pay attention to something else, but I don't want you to forget Seinfeldian conversations and conversational troping, because as I said at the end of this video, or towards the end, we're going to move more into scenes of the game itself and interactions between Michael, Franklin and Trevor. And when we come to that, I want you to remember the examples I just given you so that it makes more sense once we come to the game, because obviously if you can get something out of a cartoon, it's obviously going to be more simple than in the game to understand. But this time I want you to listen for infinity, because the shoulder devil is going to say infinity, and if you look at the bridge or the little structure that Kronk is standing on, you're going to see the symbol for the infinite eight, the infinity symbol for example, the snake eating its own tail, something that we're all familiar with. So listen and watch.
All this. Mission accomplished.
You're not just gonna let him die like that, are you?
My shoulder angel.
Don't listen to that guy. He's trying to lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm gonna lead you down the path that rocks.
Oh, come off it.
You come off it.
You.
You, Infinity. Listen up, big guy. I got 3 good reasons why you should just walk away. Number 1, look at that guy. He's got that sissy stringy music thing.
We've been through this. It's a harp, and you know it.
Alright, that's a harp. And that's a dress.
Robe.
Reason number 2. Look what I can do.
But what does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
Listen, you guys. You're sort of confusing me, so, be gone. Or, you know, however I get rid of you guys.
That'll work.
Right, so notice that he said dress and robe. First things first, Trevor wears dresses and Michael gets the Epsilon robes. But there's the infinity symbol from GTA on the screen, and this is going to allow me to just make a quick stop on a game that I bought the other day. I was going to show you some gameplay footage, but it's really long and quite dull, especially if you're not playing it, so I didn't even bother in the end. But note that the observatory here is called Valis, so it starts with a V. It's very, very similar to the observatory we had in Grand Theft Auto. One of the promotional images or screenshots or whatever you want to call it for this game was an eye/eclipse, eerily reminiscent of Heroes. And I took a screenshot from in-game. The infinity symbol is pasted all over this fucking game. So yet again, something else that, you know, it's a $20 game on the fucking PlayStation Network, and it holds pretty much everything that we've been talking about, from water all the way to infinity. But we don't really have time to discuss that too much, so I'm just going to show you the second half of Kronk and his shoulder angels. And I want you to pay attention to Isma, who is the antagonist and Kronk's boss, and the fact that she is in purple. And I've told you time and time again, purple is fucking bad, evil, no good. And the other thing I want you to pay attention to in this clip is right at the end, the little comedy bit at the end. Like, I'm going to come back to it once the clip is finished, so just pay attention to her colours and the clip at the end.
Finish them all.
Hey, you're not backing down now, are you, big guy?
Where's the other guy? No!
Sorry, I'm late. Oh, what'd I miss?
Well, Isma just tossed me this knife and asked me to, you know, take them out. And then this guy popped up, and then we waited for you. And quite honestly,
Kronk, why did I think you could do this? This one simple thing. It's like I'm talking to a monkey.
Whoa, now.
A really, really big, stupid monkey named Kronk.
Ouch.
And do you want to know something else? I've never liked your spinach puffs. Never.
That's it. She's going down. Now, remember, guys. From above, the wicked shall receive their just reward. That'll work.
strange. That usually works.
And so does this.
Should have seen that coming.
Right, so he said, oh, I should have seen that coming. Now that is conversational troping, which is what I showed you earlier. That is the prime example. So he's not exactly stating that he's not real, but it's a little hint to the fact that it's been used in shows over and over and over again. Anyway, next up I'm going to show you a couple of clips that I recorded with my camcorder, and it's South Park, just two really short elements from South Park that relate to what we're talking about right now. So enjoy those, and I'll meet you again on the PC recording.
Right, so whilst we're on the subject of shoulder angels, and shoulder devils, I'm just going to play you a short clip
here from South Park and our dear friend Mr. Mackey.
I just lost my job. Oh, that's weak, man. You know what you need? You need a good stiff drink. Oh, I don't drink. Trust me, man. It'll make you feel better. Drinking's bad.
Go ahead, drink the beer. It'll calm you down. Yeah, why the hell not? It's just a beer. Don't be such a pussy, okay?
So how do you feel? Oh, about the same. You just need something a little stronger.
Kyle!
So, there's a few little things there in the sense that, again, it ties back to the same formula, or as Wispy often says, universal clues. I just wanted to show you guys that this is something that is quite frequent, and it's been reused, and it's known as a trope, as I've brought up before, and I really do encourage you guys to go and investigate TV tropes and movie tropes. Just bang that into Google, and you will discover certain things of interest that you yourself can easily piece together. Now it kind of comes with a little bit of a curse, and the curse is for someone like me who enjoys all these different TV shows, as I think you gathered by now, noting all the things that I've showed you. But the more you learn, the less surprise there is in every next story that you watch, because you can kind of predict what character's gonna go where and do what and why. It's just, yeah. So on one hand it's really good because you feel knowledge on the whole creation of these things, and then on another hand you're not quite as, I'm gonna say, infantile when you watch something. Like you have a more grown-up approach to it after a while. Like you're more inclined to be predicting what's coming next, rather than, you know, just sitting there on the edge of your seat waiting to know what's going to come next. You're already gonna know, and believe me, it's the truth. Like, there's so many things I watch now, I can already imagine what characters are gonna become. And yeah, 9 times out of 10 I've been right on all the shit that I've been watching so far, so it's kind of fun, but at the same time it can take away a bit of the surprise out of things for you. But anyway, for the mystery I believe it to be necessary. Whilst we're on the subject of this video concerning South Park here, I'm going to take a moment in this episode to point out something I noticed as I was jumping through to get to the Mr. Mackey scene. You can see here in the classroom, to me this just explains that Matt and Trey have a very good idea of the code, the formula. You can see right here that 6 is the only number that is actually in red. The other interesting numbers, which are 7 and 9, feature in cyan or cyan, and you can also note that the way the numbers are displayed, 6 and 8 are next to each other, and 68 is a number that's relevant to us. Next to this here we have what could be a heron or a stork, so 2 birds that we've brought up a few times before, and also to the right hand side here we have a penguin. Again, another bird that's been referenced, but what's also interesting about the penguin is obviously the effect of black and white and inversion. One will replace the other and vice versa, kind of representative of infinity. All these things just kind of add up once you're used to looking at them. You can build on this sort of thing. It's kind of like a pattern that's been imprinted. It's got a mark. These are all marks signalling to someone who's looked into this that the producers know and they use, so that you can tell early on.
Right, so back to the PC shit. I'm sorry if the editing isn't exactly perfect. As I said, like, this video was put together in all sorts of different orders just because I don't know, like, there was just so much to show. As I said earlier, I'm going to show you a preview of what this is building up to. Initially I wanted to include all of that in this video, and the more I started to do that, the more I realised how stupid I was being. So yeah, basically I apologise if the volumes aren't in sync, and if, you know, I'm a bit out of context sometimes when the clips follow each other, but the general point should be in good order. Next up, I'm going to show you the first time that Franklin, Trevor and Michael find themselves all three together, I believe, and it's called Three's Company. Just watch the clip and just watch the positioning of the characters.
You know what? You better keep a low profile.
Yeah, I think I will. See you later.
Who's that cagey motherfucker, huh? No, it's another cagey motherfucker, all right? Not you!
Hey, T, enough with the faux political bullshit. Franklin, come on, you better take off. Really.
Shit, I'm good. I ain't bailing.
Whoa. What, am I detecting some sort of son I never had bullshit here, Mikey, huh? Hey, listen, if you want to replace some father figure, you can do a lot better than this fat snake, all right? This fucker would eat his own kids.
Like I said, Franklin, deranged.
Yeah, and best friend.
Exactly. That's Trevor, my best friend. That's Franklin, the son I always wanted. All right, guys, listen, this is the shot. I'm gonna do all the heavy lifting on this job, okay? Trevor, all I need you to do is fly me to the target. Franklin, you're gonna cover me from across the street. We're gonna make these assholes happy, and we're gonna walk away from this thing clean. Got it?
Right, so a couple things to point out right there. The first being, Trevor was in red, Michael was in blue. The second thing being is that the scene took a few different angles, but Trevor was on on Franklin's left hand side and Michael was on Franklin's right hand side. The correct positioning for shoulder angels and devils. Now what you're looking at on the screen is the 7th and final wallpaper that I was telling you about earlier, and I just want you to pay attention to the fact that Michael has the Jason styled mask from Friday the 13th. Trevor has the Pogo the monkey mask, and Franklin has a skull mask. Now, I'm not saying that this is fact, and this is probably why I put this episode in a Herb's What Ifs, just so that people really know that I'm not trying to claim this to be the truth, but I have a strong feeling that we're on the right track as to understanding the pattern and the balance that we're supposed to play out. And basically what I'm getting at is, look at the skull that Franklin's holding, or the skull mask, and notice that this is the only picture where he is separated from the center. He's to one side and Michael and Trevor are next to each other. Now if we think about it, option C, which is Death Wish, now I've brought it up on the screen. Now I know the quality is not amazing, but that is a skull. The other one's a picture of Trevor, the other one's a picture of Michael, and option C is a skull. Again, notice that separating Franklin from the two was a skull, so it's telling you that that's the separation, in my opinion. So for me, what does that mean? That we shouldn't kill either, that these three are a trio. And something that I forgot to bring up before, that I was going to say pretty much in the beginning of this video, is the fact that initially in every Grand Theft Auto that we had to date, apart from Grand Theft Auto 1, as far as Wispy told me, we've never had 3 characters or multiple characters that we could switch from in one timeline like we are doing in Grand Theft Auto 5. So why break from the pattern? What if they didn't break from the pattern, metaphorically speaking? What if Franklin is indeed our main character, and that Trevor and Michael, which, without being quite as precise, I have kind of hinted at since the beginning of my videos, I've always said, you know, that Trevor, in my opinion, is under some form of possession, and that Michael is suffering from some form of God complex, that, or that he's on some sort of, you know, spiritual quest. Now, therefore, again, I come back to the fact that that was the only wallpaper where Franklin didn't feature the center position and he was holding the skull. Now, you may ask me, why not bring up relevancy to the Pogo mask or the Jason style mask? Is because I'm going to save that for a little later on, because I don't want to complicate or confuse things. But to me, to answer the one big question, who do we kill? No one. They all need to remain. Right, so now I'm going to play you a compilation of clips for option C, Death Wish, and you're going to see why I told you to remember Seinfeldian conversations and conversational troping. Because in this next scene, this next clip, listen to the conversation. It's as if there's sense to no sense. So it's what I showed you in the beginning with Kronk, yet here with Michael and Trevor. And note the positioning.
You let the Chinese take me, didn't you? You might be about to pull that again with Merryweather, for all I know.
Hey, man, what the fuck am I doing risking my ass trying to save y'all ass? We just gonna kill each other.
Hey, you're not saving me, you're saving him.
Ah, you're saving this? God, fuck.
Man, y'all gotta keep y'all fucking heads right and end this shit. If not, man, I'll put bullets in both of you motherfuckers. Hey, they here?
I know them when I see them, homie. They creep.
All right, good. Y'all hear that? Now, if we doing this shit, man, it's either now or never.
Come on, Trevor.
Fuck it! Ah!
Where do you want me?
All right, man. You go over there.
All right, where you want me?
You hold your position right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over there.
Right, so you notice that Franklin took control and mediated between the two in their Seinfeldian conversation. But look on the screen right now, this mission conveniently places a golden number 9 right in front of our face from every angle throughout this mission. Now I'm not going to show you this for long, so pay attention. You can see it right now, I'm zooming in on it, the number 9 that's conveniently placed. I've said this a good few times in previous videos. 9 is a godly number, it's a sacred number, it's a holy number, it's the epiphany of importance in numerology as far as I'm concerned. Now, to me, the fact of the wallpaper, the fact of the 9 being in there, the fact of the evidence of the Seinfeldian conversation between Michael and Trevor that you just heard before, for me, it suffices to say that my theory is so far undeniable in my opinion. However, as usual, I am open for people to, you know, counteract and tell me where I've made a mistake, but I'm not hoping for people just to tell me, no, this is stupid, I want more than that. If you think I'm wrong, give me as much evidence as towards why I'm wrong as I'm giving you as towards why I'm right. So again, this is not an argument or me being confrontational. I really do encourage constructive criticism because it does help me move forward. Again, I don't do it often, but in this video I had to backtrack and go on something that I said in the past and rectify it for this to be able to make sense, and know that I will always do that. For those that follow, I will not leave you lost and fucked up thinking that I'm saying one thing and then the other and not explaining to you guys why. Anyway, nonetheless, I'm going to play now just a series of clips from Grand Theft Auto, and these are the clips that follow C Death Wish, and this next clip here is right after that barrel with the 9 on it, and then it's going to switch to a clip where we take Devin Weston and push him off the cliff, and all I want you to pay attention to is positioning. I want you to see what side Trevor's on and what side Michael is on compared to Franklin, because you're going to notice that Franklin is always in the middle.
You want to throw him in?
Shit, Trevor will throw anyone in just to satisfy his bloodlust.
Whoa! Hey! It's called a fucking loose end, alright? And if we're gonna be men of peace and tranquility, we tie up loose ends.
Man, Stretch has been a liability.
But they were gonna have to take care of our old pals Devin Weston and Steve Haynes.
Oh, fuck, what a mess, man.
Well, let's get it cleaned up. How about you get Lester on the line? Franklin.
Hey, what's up?
I assume you got him?
Ooh, safe and sound. Ain't that right, buddy?
Hey, my bad, homie. I picked C. Ain't that a bitch?
You know, Devin, the way I see it, and hey, I'm no intelligent businessman like you, but the way I see it, there's two great evils that bedevil American capitalism, the type that you practice. Number one is outsourcing. You paid a private company to do your dirty work for you, and then you underpaid that company. Oh, see, but we know your opinions on the matter, Devin. Keep your problems the fuck out of America, huh?
In this instance, when he puts it like that, it makes sense.
Of course it does. Hey, Devin. Goodbye, my old friend. Thanks for all the advice.
Bye-bye.
So now what?
Now we keep a low profile and get on with our lives.
As friends.
Well, do I have a choice?
No, not really.
Right, so we just saw our conveniently placed 9 on the barrel, or that gold or metal melting thing that was hanging in the Death Wish mission. What I want to point out here is the ending to what we've been working on today, and basically a teaser that's going to lead into my next series of videos, which is the longly awaited Kubrick. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this. Listen to what he says. This is a scene from A Clockwork Orange, by the way, one of Kubrick's movies, and this is the main character, Alex.
Only conditioned against Beethoven's Ninth Symphony.
So now you have the same reaction to music as you do to sex and violence.
No, Mrs. You see, it's not all music. It's just the ninth.
You mean Beethoven's Ninth Symphony?
That's right. I can't listen to the ninth anymore at all. When I hear the ninth, I get like this funny feeling.
We're told...
Okay, so as he just said, when he hears the ninth, he gets a funny feeling. Now, I'm gonna not go into the detail now because that's what the point of the future videos are going to be, but for now I'm just going to show you another thing that relates to numerology, which is going to kind of explain why I'd say 9 is a good thing, why I say 9 is a godly number. We're going to see in just a second in this next clip from A Clockwork Orange why exactly 9 isn't one of the things that Alex is willing to listen to, basically. Or no longer, should I say. Right, so I just showed you that Alex cannot listen to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Now, he won't allow himself to listen to that. This now is a clip from 2001 A Space Odyssey, which is another of Stanley Kubrick's movies, and as I said, this is all just a little bit of a teaser which is gonna allow me to full circle this video into one big conclusion, and also ease you into what I've been working on with Kubrick for the past couple weeks. So here's a clip, and it's from HAL 9000. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Just listen carefully.
No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information, so I am constantly occupied. I am putting myself to the fullest possible use, which is all I think that any conscious entity can ever hope to do.
Bishop takes knight's pawn. I'm sorry, Frank, I think you missed it.
Right, so here we are, and without showing too much detail or too much insight into what I'm going to be working on in the near future, just take a quick look here at what happens to Alex. This is basically the end of the movie.
In an interesting little detail, their collar numbers are 665 and 667. Alex, stood between them, would be 666.
Okay, so 665, 667, 666. He can't listen to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. That's a godly number. It makes him feel all funny inside. Now, for those of you who don't know this movie, it's probably very hard to visualise what I'm trying to get across, but for now, take my word for it, the importance in these numbers just simply doesn't lie. When it comes to anything that's related to any form of production, book, song, movie, numerology, geometry, astrology, these things do not lie.
Right, so there we have it, people. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a bit all over the place. Hopefully it's not going to take me 2 weeks to upload again. I really pray it doesn't, but unfortunately work really is fucking intense at the moment, and for those of you who don't know, like, I basically do construction and general labour, so I do a lot of concrete and shit like that. So by the time I finish my day's work, I come home, I just want to eat and fuck off to bed. Not sit down in front of fucking Movie Maker and face copyright issues and all sorts of other bullshit for God knows how many hours. But not to worry, I'm still here. I will still be working on some great shit for you guys. I'll keep you updated. Until next time, guys, as usual, take it easy and see ya.